My name's Rod Garlett. I'm a Noongar artist now living in Broome. Northern is my hometown, where I've been born and bred. It was known by our old people, my grandfather Jubich, as NAIDOC, meaning a place of the bubbling springs. We lived there all our lives, and I've been taught by my old people that there's two rivers that flow there. So the river that the whitefellas see, and then there's a river that runs underneath where the snake travels. So we use the craft glue. So I get a brush and I lay down all the glue, and then I sprinkle the sand as I'm going until we've covered the whole canvas. This is we call it river sand, but it's actually the topsoil that's coming in off the farmlands, because all the natural barriers like the trees and the bush shrubs and everything have been taken from the land. Then there's nothing holding the topsoil back on country, and it's just choking the river system. We've had a government program up around our area where they're dredging this silt out of the river pools, and they were piling it up at the Catrine pool there, and I said, what can I use it for? Geez, I might just chuck it on some canvas and see if I can paint with it. And that's how my art evolved as a river sand artist, and it's how people kind of recognise that it's my work. We asked permission for that, and we've always done it through hunting, through gathering, to even collecting bush medicines, that we would always ask our ancestors if it'd be right for us to come in and take this, and we tell them what we want to do with it. We would ask old people to give us that blessing, and I've used that same approach to ask permission to take the river sand from the waterhole to use in my art, to tell our family stories. We get a little cool wind that blows over us as a sign of acceptance, but if you don't get it, then you don't take it. Or if you hear a branch fall from a tree or something that makes you alert, then you say, no, we have to leave now, or it's time to go. Yeah. Well, we've divided up in 6 spaces here, and that just solely represents a Noongar native title claim, and it represents the 6 claimant groups for our Boodja, for our country in the southwest. Here we've outlined this bankshire. The bankshire was used in ceremony as part of the men's headdress as well, but it was also used for carrying fire, and the seeds were collected and used for making bread. This is a balga bush. He had about 101 uses, this plant here, for our people. It's one of the most versatile plants in our plant kingdom. And when we have big ceremony, we burn one of these to give cleansing to all of our people and our communities. The Aboriginal flag that I've used to represent our people here, the black is a representation of our people. The red is from the massacres of the blood that was shed upon our land when the Europeans come to our country. And the yellow represents a better future or a new day, brighter day for our people. Christmas tree. Moye is that Noongar name, is the most sacred of our plants. It was a tree where our family, when they passed on, their spirit would rest there first, at that tree. And they would rest there before they went on to a place that the old people called Karanup, which is Aboriginal heaven beyond the sea. And we're not allowed to sit in the shade of that tree, and we're not allowed to break any of the branches from that tree. It's very sacred. So I use the symbol of the water, the ripples, in my paintings to represent the healing places, the healing pools along our river where we go to wash ourselves and clean our spirit, make us all strong, you know. These ones up here along the Avon River, Gungurla we call it, and this one is Burlong, Catrine, Red Bank, and this is a deep pool near Tujay, and that's Wayanga at the end there. So all sacred pools for our people, and our mother's family run along that river. But the water is giver of life, and that's why I use it in my symbols today, that it represents that very thing about healing ourselves at the waterholes and our connection to the rainbow serpent, because our family, we snake people. Yeah. So this one here, that the quandong fruit, is from my father's country, which is the Balladong people, and they always collect this in the season to make their bush jams. So my totem is the emu. In Noongar we call it waich. So the emu hand over my hand, this is my special gift or my connection to the water. It's our healing. So waich is my totem, and I can't eat that one. I must always protect this one. And that's part of a system that's been in place within our culture right across Australia. And it's why our animals have still survived, because of that very system. So this is a meeting place, and usually when we have it for sitting, then it speaks of woman's business. So men's business and woman's business was always separate and still is today. Walich is the eagle, and this symbol here of the Southern Cross reminds us that he was the one that was responsible for creating our laws of our Noongar land and sea and for its people. This corner section here represents Noongar Boodja, our land, Aboriginal land. The footprints are of our people walking across our country, hunting and gathering, looking after country. And that one there is the black cockatoo, Manat Mat. And he reminds us of our warriors, and he carries these special red feathers that represent our Noongar country, or a lot of people distinguish those feathers as a part of us. For me, they really do remind us of our strong warriors that walked our country, you know. This figure here is the chest markings is of my great-great-grandfather Jubich. He's a senior lawman for Wajak country here, who's a master of ceremony and is to sing the songs for this country. And these are his traditional markings. But it also represents myself as a Noongar man for this country, and that's why I've done the face with the lines coming straight down, which means self. Ceremony in our country made us strong. Ceremony also implemented and kept our law for this country strong. The law of the land, the law of its people and its culture. Ceremony was also about giving thanks and gratitude to the great spirits and for providing us with a beautiful country and plenty full of food. And that's why our people have always looked after the country, because we know that the country would look after us in return. And that's always been a part of our upbringing as Aboriginal people, the first carers of this land.